Hi, I'm Lisa, and welcome to my home. This is my channel about stitching and quilting. Sometimes some thrift store things come in to play, and anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day. Today is Thursday, July 7th. Hope you all had a nice 4th of July if you celebrate. We had a pretty calm day here. I lucked out I didn't have to work, and so I mostly just stitched the whole day. We had plans on working out in the yard, but we didn't get started right away, and I just sat there and stitched, so it was wonderful. It's been a good couple of weeks. Maybe it's been like 2.5 weeks, I think, since my last video, and I've worked on a bunch of things, so I'd like to share them with you. Hopefully I can inspire you. If you have the same projects, that you'll run and grab yours and see if you can get some progress on some of your things also. If you do, share them with me. I'm on Instagram at LisaAbbey9137. And so I'd love to see what you're working on if you want to share with me there. All right. Well, I don't have anything fully finished. I had plans to do that, and then they fell through, and I just didn't get motivated enough to work on anything. But I do have a couple finishes, and I worked on a ton of whips, and I have the giveaway for later, so let's get going. I got to get to work here pretty soon. It's Thursday, so it's a work day. So, all right. I was able to finish Liberty Hill by Silver Creek Samplers. And thanks for all of the comments and opinions on what I should do with, whether I should add, there's stars and hearts around the bunting, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do them, and so everybody gave me an opinion, and I appreciate that. And as you can tell, I didn't go by some people's opinion who said, yeah, it needs the stars and hearts, or just the stars, or just the hearts, or whatever. I decided I was just finished with this project. It had been a long whip, and I was just tired of stitching on it, so I wanted it to be finished. So I just went to Joann's and got the rest of the floss that I needed. I had ran out, and all I had to do was finish the 6 here, and so I got that done. And I've just decided that I'm going to call that a finish. So still haven't decided if I'm going to frame it or do a drum. A lot of people agreed with the drum idea, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm not real quick to get drums done. I'm not quick to get a lot of things finished, but okay. And then I was able to start the last pillow I needed for Keeper of the Pins by Brenda Gervais, and so I was able to get her finished. I do have some of those really big crosses, those big X's to do. At first I was thinking, oh, I shouldn't do those until I do a pillow, but that won't make any sense. It must have been late at night when I had that logic go through my head. So I have to do a few little X's before I make the pillow, but in my opinion, that's a finish. So, but that was all the things I finished this week. So I did do a new start for the 4th of July, so we'll share that pretty soon here. I'm not going to go in any order. What I've been doing is if I work on something, I put it in a basket so that I don't have to think real hard on what I worked on. So I have been writing it down in my book, and I am kind of proud of myself because there has been a lot of stitching going on. But anyway, so I worked a little bit more on Miss Baxter's house. Actually, I framed in a couple more windows, and I made some pretty good progress on the center of the house. I had just done, I think, to like the bottom of this window down here. And so I hurried and framed in the top window. And anyway, made quite a bit of progress on the house. And then I did the chimney at the top. So I'm loving this one. Okay, so that's Miss Baxter's house. And I'm going to try to take the time to put things back in the bag because otherwise it's going to be a big old mess. And my sewing room is a big enough mess all by itself, so we can't add to the clutter. Okay, and then I was feeling like doing something I hadn't worked on in a while. And so I pulled out an Abbey Rose design, Yuletide on Thistle Hill. And I had just worked a little bit on the border in the past. And so I worked on this, I think, on Sunday. So I was able to get all of the red flowers around the border done. And then I decided to do, I couldn't decide what color I wanted to use. There's a few of these random flowers, and they had done like a gray color in the pattern. And I wasn't really a fan of gray flowers, although I'm sure that's probably what a thistle kind of looks like. It's like a, but anyway, I used gold. And then I was able to work on the house a little bit. I was kind of curious to see if the snow color, I used B5200, and I was kind of curious to see if that was going to show up, and I think it shows up fine. So I was happy with that corner. I am not going with the called for colors at all, and so I hadn't made any choices on the red, so I just grabbed a couple and jumped in with both feet. But I like the way it's looking so far. I do need to do a little bit more planning though before I go too much further, but anyway. Okay, and then I don't think I did any more on this one. Never mind. Not sure why it's in the bag. I'll show it to you anyway, though, because it's cute. The Milk and Cream Company. I'm pretty sure I had all the writing done down there. Maybe I hadn't. Maybe I did finish the writing on this one. Well, it was in the basket, so maybe I did work on that writing or something. Okay, and so I didn't work on it on the 4th, which was a Monday, but I did work on it the previous Monday, and I worked on it on Tuesday, and that is Plum Street Samplers, A Shepherd Song. Hi, Bella. And so I've been trying to plug away at the house. So I got quite a bit of progress, I think, on it. So I think I had only done the 3 rows right here. And so I was able, or maybe I went across part of the windows, I'm not sure. But I was able to do the gap between the windows and above the window. And I just have to start filling in the next set of windows. But overall, I'm liking that black. I think it's cool. And it's actually going pretty quick. But boy, 40 count. I mean, it doesn't look like there's a lot of stitches, but there's a lot of stitches. There's a needle randomly just hanging out there. Okay. Let's see what else we got in the pile. Okay, so this is going to be one of my new starts that I did on July 4th. It's Plum Street Samplers Liberty Inn. This was one of the charts that I was gifted by Sherry. And so I was able to get that started on Monday and got quite a bit of progress on it. Got the tall flower done on the side, and then kind of working my way over. And it's funny, when I bought this fabric, I didn't really notice this green modeling in there. And I really didn't notice it until I had already done most of the stitching over here. And then it really showed up when I started working my way over with the fence. And I'm just hoping it's going to look right with that white house, but I'm kind of committed now. I'm going for it. So I only have, I think, 5 more little sections in the fence, and then I'll be over to the left edge of my piece. And then I want to be able to, I think there'll be enough fabric once I get to the other side to do stay home and stitch project quarantine. So that's my plan for why I did the leaf all the way to the top, so I could see how tall my piece was going to be. I mean, I did the I did the stitch calculator, and it told me what my piece was supposed to measure. But anyway, I figure if I go over and do the edge of the fence and do that flower, then I can whack off my fabric. So, but anyway, I'm loving the colors that I picked. I'm just doing my own colors. So that was that one. And then I worked a little bit on Summer Breeze by Prairie Schooler. So I was kind of curious to see what the house was going to look like. So I worked my way down. I did the words in the breeze, and then I worked my way down to the tree and the fence, and I filled in the windows to the house. So that'll be some mindless fill-in that I can do on an evening when I don't want to count. So, whoops, just a second. Okay. All right. So, well, looks like we might be getting to the end of the whip pile in my fancy project bag. Okay, so this is the one that I take to work with me, and I only have maybe 10 minutes to stitch each time, so it's taken me forever to get. But I think I was just to the F on the last video, and I just worked 4 days. So anyway, I filled in most of the and wool, and so because I was starting to run out of area that was the letters were done, so I worked a little bit more on the letters to try to make my path clear on where I was going next. All right, and so I did pick out a couple of things that I wanted to start, and I actually had plans to start this last weekend, but I just didn't get as much accomplished as I wanted to. And the main reason why I didn't do this one, my plan was to start Seasons of the Heart, and for the longest time I was looking around all over for it, wondering where it was, and then it finally occurred to me after I started the other one that it was on the other end of my shepherd song piece. So here I'm looking all over for it, and it was in a project bag. But I did get my flosses together that Darlie had sent me, and was planning on picking the other colors, but then I couldn't find my piece that the fabric I was going to put it on. So, and I thought there was enough room to do another one on the other end of that Plum Street piece. So anyway, needless to say, I didn't get that finished. But I did run across something that I had forgot I purchased, and it was something that as soon as they showed it, I was like, oh yeah. And it was one of those moments where I actually, you know, just clicked the button and bought it. Well, that's just really shiny. So this was an exclusive with Fox and Rabbit and Plum Street. And so I purchased the pattern and I purchased the fabric from Fox and Rabbit. So I need to get busy and get the threads pulled for that I have, and see where I want to go with that. So I want it pretty much to look exactly like that. So I'll probably buy the fancy floss, because there's pretty big chunks of color, so it will definitely show. Okay, and then I was gifted this Blackbird design book by Darlie, and I thought I would try to do this little pin cushion, but instead of having it be just all different kind of pastels, I was going to make it look, my thought was to try to make it look like a beehive. So I found some Aida that I had tea dyed, and then I found some random, and they're not near as bright as the camera is picking up. It's a little bit more muted than that. But my plan is to use taupe to outline the honeycomb areas. I thought they looked like honeycombs. And so I'll use taupe and then white, and then I'll do some colors like this in the center. And I thought, well, hopefully that would kind of make it look like a honeycomb. And then I could, I want to start to get some bee things together, because it's after the 4th. And I should have already been thinking about it, but I haven't. So I want to get some other things at least in process to change out my decor after July is over. So I think that's going to be my plan, is to try to do some bee things. So, although I really didn't get many patriotic things put out. So I don't know why I'm in a big hurry to put bee stuff out. I probably won't get that done either. So, all right. So the only other thing I worked on, which I worked on quite a bit, was my hive quilt, my beehive quilt. And this is kind of a combination of 2 different patterns that I got out of a book called Through the Seasons, I think, by Bonnie Sullivan. But anyway, so this is my beehive quilt that I'm in the process making with my friend Loretta. So I have pretty much all of the blanket stitching done except on the birds. And it's coming along pretty good. I'm not sure why I haven't done the birds yet, but I just haven't. And I tried doing the feather stitch, or the fly stitch, on my beehive. And if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen my post that wanting opinions on whether I should do, you know, this lighter brown, goldy color, or if I should do the dark brown. And I think there was more votes towards brown, the darker color. See, I was keeping a running total. Let me see here. I feel like it was mostly people like the darker color. see, I had 6 people vote for the light color and 11 people vote for the dark, and 5 people voted for both. That either way would look pretty. So, but I think what I've come up with, my conclusion is, it's not that I don't like the dark thread. I don't like the curve that I took. I just took a random chalk pencil and I just drew what I thought was a pretty curve. There's 4 of them, I think. So one here, 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 and then down here. And of course, the pattern doesn't show through the fabric, so I couldn't just trace it. So anyway, but I think the problem I was having was I'm just not happy with that curve. I think it just looks kind of messy. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm just going to take all of the stitching out and find a color somewhere in between. And I'm going to use a plate or something and do a nice pretty curve that would all be kind of uniform and start over. So, and I think that's kind of what stalled me out, is I couldn't decide which way I wanted to go with it. But I think that's just what I've come to decide. So now I feel like I can go forward a little bit more. I was very close to going yesterday. They have, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sue Spargo, but she lives very close to me. She lives in the city that I work in. So, and her studio is very close to where I work. So I was going through Instagram a while back and I saw that they have a open sew. Oh, I'm sorry. They have an open sew that you can come from 10 to 4 on Wednesdays, and you can bring whatever project you want. And so I was thinking I would bring this quilt with me and work on my beehive and see if maybe she had some variegated thread or something that would look pretty. And I was this close to going, but then I got too nervous and I didn't go. And now I'm kicking myself because I didn't really accomplish anything else around the house except I got groceries. And I did go to the thrift store, which was fun, but I thought, gosh, I should have just gone, but I didn't. I chickened out. So maybe next Wednesday, we'll see. But I did get some motivation on Sunday. I was talking with Jeanette on Instagram, texting back and forth with Jeanette from Crafty Cottage Stitches. And on the 4th, was it the 4th? Or was it Sunday? I think it was on the 4th, maybe. Anyway, I was texting back with her, and Nancy Woolsey were going to be doing a patriotic quilt that day. And I thought, well, I should jump in and do a patriotic quilt, And then I thought, oh my goodness, the day's half over because I'm 3 hours behind them. So the day is half over for me and it's just starting for them. And so I was like, no. But I thought I could quilt along with them and finish my blocks from my hive quilt. So I did get those finished. So I think I only had to make 5 more. And so they're all a little bit different, but they will go around the edge of this hive section in the center. It has a yellow border, a 2.5-inch border that will go around the edge of this, and then those little blocks will start. And plus I have to trim this down. But anyway, so I got my blocks done. So really all I have to do is finish my stitching on here and I could really go to town. This quilt could be ready for, August when I wanted to hang it up. So I don't know. I might try to have that be my focus. There is some other things. I have to put some little red buttons that are supposed to look like cherries on it also. So anyway, we'll see. I'm kind of nervous about throwing red into it because I don't have red anywhere else. We'll see. But the birds probably wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the cherries, right? So, and then I have to fuse on a bunch of little bees. But I thought those would be pretty simple to put just about anywhere. So anyway, but I'm excited about that quilt that's coming along. So anywho, I did buy another frame with the expectation to cut it down to fit Summer at Hollyberry Farm. I know some of you might have remembered my goal to have it hanging up on the wall on the 4th, but that didn't happen. It probably could have happened because we weren't doing anything earth-shattering. I could have had him work on it, but the day before he had been working out with equipment and moving rocks around and just had a miserable time. I mean, the hydraulic hose broke, and so he got covered with oil like the first 10 minutes that he started working on it, and then nothing seemed to work right. And so part of me was just like, I don't know that this is going to go well when we try to cut this frame down. And I thought, oh, let's not add stress to it. So, but I did find this frame, which I thought was a pretty cool frame, and it was $1. And I don't know if it's wood. It sounds more like plastic. So I'm not sure how it's going to be to cut it or anything, but I thought, well, for $1, I'm up for I'm up for it, sort of. So we'll see. Hopefully we will get that process down pat, because I see the wrong size frames at the thrift store constantly. And gosh, if I could get good at that, that would save me a lot of money. Not that I ever go have anything professionally framed anyway, but it would be quicker than having to wait for the actual perfect frame to come through there. So anyway, so that pretty much sums up what I've been working on. It's been kind of hot, or if it hasn't been hot, it's been really humid here in Ohio. So haven't really wanted to do much around outside, but I did get the flowers. I know I mentioned last time I was going to be going to an Instagram influencers. Well, no. See, how do I describe her? The lady is a YouTube trash to treasure type of deal, to where she upcycles or recycles or and I can't edit this because my laptop is broke, so I need to just pull my thoughts together here. Sorry. Anyway, I went to someone's home that I was very excited to meet, and hoping that I could meet this YouTuber lady who is her sister. But that didn't work out. But I did buy some really, really pretty plants, and I got them all planted, and they're all doing very well. I couldn't believe it. I planted them the next morning. No, it wasn't the next morning. I bought them on Wednesday, and I planted them on Sunday, which for me is record time, because I still have some that I'm about to just pitch that I never did get planted, and I bought them back in June. So it's always fun to buy them. It's just not that much fun to plant them. Okay, I'm just kind of rambling now. And I don't feel like this video has been very fun or entertaining. So hopefully you're still there. Are you guys still there? Some days I feel funny, but today I just don't feel funny. I feel like going back to bed. But I must go and dish up slop for everyone to take. I work at a restaurant, and so sometimes when you just, I mean, it's good food, but sometimes when you look at it for 10 hours, it's just like, ugh, I don't want to dish this stuff up anymore. All right. Well, I'm going to have, oh no, I got to do the winners. Goodness. Okay, so last time I offered a couple charts as giveaways. The first one was Little House Needleworks Spring ABCs. And so to enter, you just had to use the word spring. And so I went through all my comments and I wrote down everyone's name and I put a number next to it. And then I went on my phone, and there you can get a number generator picker type thing that will come up. And so I entered the numbers 1. I think 35 people were interested in spring. So I went ahead and picked that. And the winner is Jan Heitpas, Hietpas. I recognize the name. I feel like she comments quite a bit. So Jan, you're the winner of spring. And then I also offered, Bella's down here snoring away. I offered Country Cottage Needleworks November Cottage. And that one had 21 people that were interested. And so I put 1 through 21 in the comment picker. And I got number 8, Diane Knowles, Knowles. So you guys won. So just get a hold of me. Either on Instagram, you can message me. Like I said, I'm Lisa Abby 9137 on Instagram. So if you want to message me there, or you can send me an email. My email address is lisaabby1585@gmail.com. So if you want to send me a message there, you can. And send me your address through message or email, and I will get these off in the mail to you. So thank you for playing along. And I think that's pretty much it. I did get some cool things at the thrift store, but they're all kind of spread out throughout the house, and I didn't go around picking them up. So anyway, I hope whatever you're doing is bringing you some joy, and I hope you're having fun, having some time to stitch. Last time I had mentioned how sometimes it's just hard to pick up our stitching. It's easier just to sit and flip through our phones and wear ourselves out seeing what other people are doing. But this last week I've really tried to buckle down and pick my stitching up, and it's been a lot of fun. So I hope if you have any of those issues to where sometimes you don't feel like stitching, or you don't feel like you're getting much accomplished, it's amazing how much you can get done even if you just work a little bit at a time. So anyhow, well, I'm off to go to work. And I hope whatever you do is making you happy today. And thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.